Hi everyone, I'm Andy and this is the AI Breakdown. Welcome to your weekly news edition, where I'll cover what happened in AI last week, why it matters, all in about 10 minutes. Alright, first up, Samsung is going massive on distribution. Reuters reports Samsung plans to double the number of AI-enabled mobile devices to 800 million in 2026, up from 400 million last year. These are Galaxy devices with Galaxy AI features, largely powered by Google's Gemini models, alongside Samsung's own Bixby Assistant. This matters for one reason above all: reach. 800 million devices is basically a new continent of potential users for AI features, translation, summarization, voice, image editing, and for anyone building AI products, it's a reminder that the battle isn't only about who has the best model, it's who ships. Samsung co-CEO TM Rowe put it pretty bluntly, saying they will apply AI to all products, all functions, and all services as quickly as possible. That tells you this isn't a one-off feature drop, it's a strategy. And there's a second-order effect. Samsung leaning on Gemini is a huge distribution win for Google in its rivalry with OpenAI. Reuters notes Google launched Gemini 3 in November with top-tier performance, resulting in OpenAI declaring a code read internally and rushed out, GPT 5.2 weeks later. My take is, if you're a SaaS business designed for AI native expectations, because if your customers are getting used to their phone summarizing messages and polishing photos, they'll expect the same level of helpfulness in your product, and they won't be patient about it. Also worth clocking, AI isn't just changing devices, it's changing the economics behind them. Reuters also says Samsung is poised to report a 160% year-on-year jump in Q4 operating profit, with analysts estimating around 16.9 trillion won, about $11.7 billion, which would be its highest quarterly profit since 2018. The driver is the AI boom stoking demand for chips, plus shortages of certain components essential for AI systems. Reuters described customers as scrambling to meet AI demand. For builders and IT buyers, that's the slightly annoying reminder: the AI gold rush has a hardware bill. If your 2026 plan involves training or running big models, assume compute and memory costs stay volatile. Sticking with Google for a second, Snowflake announced an expanded collaboration with Google Cloud to bring Gemini 3 models directly into Snowflake's Cortex AI environment. The key detail is governance. Snowflake says customers can use Gemini on their enterprise data without moving that data outside Snowflake. That bring AI to the data, not data to the AI idea keeps coming up, and it's exactly what regulated industries have been waiting for. Snowflake's Christian Kleinerman said the combo is about empowering customers to move faster, innovate more freely, and redefine what's possible through data and AI, and Google's Michael Gerstenhaber pointed to using Gemini natively on governed data to unlock insights. In plain English, this makes it easier to ship internal co-pilots, natural language analytics, and data agents without your security team having a meltdown. It's also another sign that cloud providers and AI labs are basically merging into one big stack: models, data, marketplace, sales teams, the lot. Now, the consumer side of Gemini got a CES moment too. Google previewed Gemini features for Google TV that are actually useful. Voice controls are getting more natural. You can say something like, "The screen is too dim," or "I can't hear the dialogue," and Gemini adjusts settings without you digging through menus. They're also pushing richer Q&A and recommendations, like asking for a show that fits both your tastes and your partner's. And Gemini replies with those big visual on-screen answers. And there's a photo angle. Integration with Google Photos means you can search your library by voice and then reimagine photos or videos into stylized slideshows using Google's generative models. Early CES reactions were pretty positive, mainly because it saves time and improves accessibility. The caveat is it needs Android TV OS 14 Plus and an internet connection, which will make some privacy-minded folks a bit twitchy. But the bigger point is simple: AI is sliding into boring, everyday interfaces, and that's when it really sticks. Nobody wakes up excited about TV settings menus. If Gemini removes that friction, that's the kind of quiet AI that wins. Alright, let's talk robots. because Boston Dynamics has finally done the thing everyone's been waiting for. Atlas is going production ready. Engadget reports the new Atlas is moving from R&D into real deployments. It's a 5-foot humanoid with a 7.5-foot reach, can lift up to 110 pounds, and it's built for industrial work. Boston Dynamics says it can run autonomously, via teleoperation, or controlled through a tablet. And they're starting manufacturing immediately, and all units are already committed for 2026. The first deployments are at Hyundai's new robotics meta plant in Korea. Hyundai owns a majority stake in Boston Dynamics, and at Google DeepMind, which is partnering to integrate Gemini-based robotics AI models into Atlas. Hyundai's plan is material handling and parts assembly by 2028, things like sequencing car parts on production lines, and Boston Dynamics CEO Robert Plater called it the best robot we have ever built, saying Atlas will revolutionize the way industry works. This isn't just a cool demo anymore. For manufacturing and logistics, it's a serious hint that labor shortages and repetitive, injury-prone tasks are going to be addressed with physical AI. I'm optimistic, but I'll also be watching cost and reliability, because that's where robotics projects go to die. Cars are getting the agent treatment too. Qualcomm and Google announced what Mobile World Live calls a decade-long partnership to integrate Qualcomm's Snapdragon digital chassis with Google's Android-based automotive software. The phrase they're using is agentic AI, the idea that the car anticipates, reacts, and adapts to driver needs in real time. Qualcomm and Google said they want next-generation vehicles that better anticipate, react, and adapt to driver needs with agentic AI. If you've ever used a car infotainment system and felt like you were negotiating with a stubborn toaster, you'll understand why this matters. The dream is fewer taps, less friction, and more on-device intelligence, so the car can do useful things without constantly asking you to babysit it. So, what's the bigger theme here? Edge AI is becoming table stakes. Cars, laptops, drones, cameras, everything's getting a local AI brain. On the chip front, AMD came swinging at CES as well, with Lisa Su literally calling it AI everywhere for everyone. They previewed a rack-scale AI platform called Helios, claiming up to 3 exaflops of AI performance per rack by linking thousands of GPUs. They also launched the Instinct MI 440X, aimed at on-prem enterprise AI deployments, 8 GPUs per server, and designed for training and inference behind the firewall. For laptops and desktops, AMD announced the Ryzen AI 400 series with 60 TOPS, and higher-end Ryzen AI Max Plus chips that can handle models up to 128 billion parameters with 128 gigabytes of unified memory, with devices expected in the first quarter of 2026. Why should you care if you're not a silicon nerd? Because competition here is what eventually makes AI cheaper and more available. Network World even quoted an analyst saying AMD chips are typically 20 to 30% cheaper, which is exactly the kind of pricing pressure enterprise buyers want when GPUs are scarce and expensive. Now, more self-driving news. AWS is partnering with Aumovio, a German automotive supplier that recently spun out of Continental to build AI-driven tools for autonomous vehicles. Reuters says the first major target is Aurora Innovation's self-driving trucks, aiming for commercial launch in 2027. The interesting bit is how they're using AI to find edge cases in the petabytes of driving data, the rare scenarios that kill autonomy projects. Aumovio's Jeremy McLean said, without AI, finding those edge cases in massive data sets would be very difficult. This is what it looks like when AI moves from chatbots to serious engineering, speeding up validation, building confidence, and hopefully making the rollout safer. It also shows AWS doubling down on being the default cloud for industries that need ridiculous amounts of data processing. Robots aren't just in factories either. Grab has acquired Infomove, a China-based robotics firm, to boost first and last mile delivery using autonomous delivery robots, according to Reuters. Grab didn't disclose the price, but the intention is clear. Automate the expensive, labor-heavy bit of logistics. They're going to develop Infomove solutions out of Singapore and explore how the robots can enhance customer and partner experiences. Reactions online were a mix of excitement, people imagining robots delivering bubble tea, and the usual anxiety from riders wondering what happens to gig work over time. Still, it's another sign that AI increasingly means wheels, sensors, and supply chains, not just text generation. Finally, Accenture is acquiring Faculty, the London-based AI consultancy and products company. Faculty has over 400 AI engineers and data scientists, and Accenture highlighted its work on the NHS pandemic early warning system. Accenture also called out Faculty's focus on AI safety and ethics, including work with OpenAI, Anthropic, and the UK's AI Safety Institute. Julie Sweet said, with Faculty, they will further accelerate their strategy to bring trusted, advanced AI to the heart of their clients' businesses, with an emphasis on safe and secure AI solutions. Faculty CEO Mark Warner is set to become Accenture's Chief Technology Officer when the deal closes. What this tells me is that the enterprise AI services market is consolidating fast. Big consultancies want deep talent and safety credibility because regulated sectors, finance, healthcare, government, are moving from pilots to rollouts, and nobody wants an AI incident on the front page. That's all for this week's AI Roundup. If you found value in this breakdown, please leave a rating and hit subscribe. See you next week.